and I'm in the stock market now. I started this a while back. I had to take a small little break. Had to make some moves. As you see, I made a big move. I got my fiance with me, and we're building a family together and home and shows. I had to take certain breaks on certain things because I wanted full concentration when it comes to this department right here. This department right here is taking um, a type of concentration that I wanted to make sure it had my undivided concentration because I'm not here to tell a person what to do. I'm just here to help show for the D class, F students, people who don't really care. That's what Burn Live is for people that's not really into it. Who like, oh man, all them smart people out there is all trying to tell us. Here's somebody that's not smart, that understands it, learned it, understand it, and want to share the knowledge with you. Okay. So that's what I'm gonna start doing. Also, I do understand that I am gonna have to start really making real content, breaking down the small definitions of little words and things like that. I got a whole thing I'm finna put together. I'm just finna talk to my team and get together. But without further ado, let's get into this. Okay.
Theme looks similar to the internet, global crossing, data centers in the ocean. There's a lot of analogies you can draw. That's great. I invite our viewers, especially our Schwab traders, go to the Thinkorswim platform, go look at the late 90s, go look at the charts then, and at least understand that it's very normal to get 5 to 10% swift mean reversion digestion type periods when you get these kind of extreme stretched rubber bands. So, Sam, if we get some kind of a 10% pullback to the 10-day simple moving average, God forbid, on the semiconductors, that would just be par for the course, totally normal. We've talked about.
So we heard all of that, and y'all probably sitting up there like, I didn't understand nothing that guy just said at all. And I get it, and I totally get it. If we're not understanding what he said. But what he's saying is not too wild fetch to understand where you have big drops and big increases. I just seen this big increase too, actually on my stock market for the last couple of days. And I was like, dang, that's pretty good. Actually. I'm just going to my stock just to make sure. So my numbers been looking good. I'm down actually $2 from my norm. I'm down $2. Okay. So, but I have been seeing that last same increase since I got in, and I put no, I'm up $5. Yeah, I'm up $5, $3, and stuff like that. So I've been seeing the same increase that y'all been seeing right here, but yet again, what he's basically saying that it's not normal to see a 5% decrease that's normal. You know what I'm saying? Even though it's like it comes out of nowhere. Things that come out of nowhere in the stock market is normal. When prices drop, when people are selling, you know what I'm saying? Most people panic and look to sell their things too. And what it is to do in the stock market, when people sell, you must buy and stand firm. Get some good, strong, firm things like gold. Everybody is going to tell you to promote and invest into gold. That's definitely 100% a good thing to invest in. And other than that, when you take risks with small things like Netflix, taking a risk with that, taking a risk with Uber back in the day, when these companies were very, very small before they blew up, You know what I'm saying? I can't even pronounce this one company that's out here that's doing things that's probably have a slow marketing invested into them, betting into these self-driven cars. It we get you rich in the future too. It's just finding the self company that's gonna bring the chip into the new future that's gonna be successful. That's the hard part. Finding things of that nature is not gonna be easy. Okay.
Had it before. If you feel like you've had some really good gains here, there are ways to hedge. You could put on collars. You could even, with the volatility the way that it is, you could act in the semis that you could get, a large collar if you want to give you some flexibility for.
With you increasing your wealth in stocks, what you want to do is you can spread your wealth, invest in other things, or you could invest more into what you got to give you more room, more flexibility. When people see flexibility, you got to think options. Flexibility is another word for option. Give you more options to do what you want to do. Give you a chance to get a bigger sellout if you have more invest into one big thing that's doing good. Okay. Like right now, I have a lot of different stock. If I convert my stock into one thing, which I gotta see, how can I put my stock up here? I'll get back to this.
These type of environments, and we'll see what happens, Sam, with the meeting with President Trump and with and the potential for bullish momentum to persist.
It's like an
ice cube in a volcano. Yeah.
Right, exactly. It's kind of just like a blip, a drop in the bucket here. I mean, given the run up we've seen in some of these names like Intel and Micron and SanDisk, you name it. What do you make of the market reaction to the CPI print this morning?
Well, the way that, so if you look at what's going on with the prices index within the ISMs that we've been getting over the past, several weeks here, if you look at CPI on a core basis, a little bit above expectations, you look at oil prices, obviously the market isn't too concerned. They're still focusing on the top half of the K. We've got the wealth effect with the stock market at all-time highs. So we haven't really seen the top half of the K bend or break.
All-time highs. That's the economy, y'all. That's what people are not looking at because, again, a lot of people don't invest, and I get it. But when they all-time highs mean a lot of people are investing, and that means a lot of money is moving throughout America's economy. I know your pockets may not reflect that. People may not see that. I just heard a report about Las Vegas numbers and the gambling and how these casinos are still pulling record number breaking sales on these gambling machines. And I had a person break it down to me, and I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. I get it. You know what I'm saying? When you switching up your audience to get somebody to view your show and your content. I get it. All right. So listen to the keywords of all-time highs and what somebody is doing and how they are doing it.
We have seen it though in consumer discretionary over the past couple of weeks. They've rolled over. So there's some creep into the potential for the consumer to get dinged here. But the market seems to think or feel, based on the price action, that we're still going to get a resolution at some point with Iran. Oil prices might be elevated, but it's not going to affect the economy enough to offset this basically CapEx boom that continues to go on throughout the economy because of AI. So I think for right now, the market's still okay, understands we're not going to get rate cuts. There's hotter inflation, but it's not going to be enough to thwart this wave, this tidal wave of AI spending.
Yeah, and so far from some of the consumer-facing companies we certainly heard from last week, it looks like things are holding up for now. But as you say, I mean, looking for any of those signs of demand destruction as we continue to look across these fundamentals, particularly across staples. But you mentioned the Trump Xi meeting, and you mentioned NVIDIA, and I think the notable absence in tow with Trump is Jensen Huang. Why are markets watching that approach, of course, the Super Bowl of earnings next week?
Yeah, you know, I'm not a geopolitical analyst. My guess is that there would be fruitful discussions that China would essentially help, speed up the negotiations with Iran. There would be some resolution here because China is so important to Iran, being such a big purchaser of oil, that I think expectations are built in that there's going to be some kind of positive development or movement toward peace talks. It hasn't looked great over the past week or two, and there's even been shots fired. So, if that fails to manifest into some kind of a positive development with Iran, and, God forbid, we start to, see more of that ceasefire begin to basically evaporate, that's going to be challenging for the market. So I think there's the potential for volatility there. The VIX is kind of picking up on that. It's been creeping higher over the past 2 trading days here. And then if we do, I mean, everybody wants peace, I would presume. So hopefully we get something good out of the China meeting there. If not, we go to NVIDIA next week. Regardless of what NVIDIA reports, I think, we have the potential to get basically one of those 5 to 10% over a couple week type of a mean reversion. There's no guarantee. This is just some kind of guess. But, Sam, after we get past NVIDIA, as we've gone through the earnings season, Texas Instruments, Intel, all of these chip companies have gone more fuel to the fire for chips. Now, after NVIDIA, we've got Broadcom, I believe. There's Oracle in June. Yeah. But there's not really enough, we might run out of that catalyst. And so at that point, psychologically, we say, okay, I'm going to take some profits, mean revert. Let's take a breather. So we could see that coming up towards as we end May and head into early June.
Right.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to invest. Find a friend, find somebody, go talk to somebody who's already invested, who's is doing this on an average day basis. This is almost their livelihood, because yes, you can get good at stock market to this can be your livelihood. You got to be in there, got to be close up at the numbers, be able to get in, get out, know how to put your money in and there's a lot to it. I'm learning. You willing to learn with me? We can do it together. I'm saying I'm willing to try. And this is my goal, is to show everybody yet again, this is what we do. And this is just my Kraken portfolio. This is what I was saying. I wanted to see if I can actually get in. I can't. Just to show you guys what I've been tracking. And like I said, I just started. I put a measly, $30, $40 in. So I put $40, right? Telling me right here. So I'm down $3. Hit the $40. I'm doing a tremble. All right. Now, it's not to say that I'm doing that. It's because I have certain trades that are actually doing bad. And I need to readjust because I can be up plus $3 on a 9% interest. I really can. But I got to find out which stock markets are doing that so I can get back on that trail. Because if I can, and when I find out how to zoom in, like right here in April, I was above right here for a second. April 9th, I was above. So there's been times that I have been above. I have, you know what I'm saying, where I was above 6 cents there, above 5 cents there to reinvest. And I'm showing y'all. So I'm showing y'all I'm not the best. Showing y'all how what it looks like, what you look like when you invest. And they showing you hot trending topics, investments. Most bold, and you see everything looks down too. Everything looks down. You got a few over here at pennies on the dollar of interest of investment. And that's another thing to look at too. And I'm learning too, y'all. Trying to get in at pennies on the dollars with a huge investment. This is less than 5 cents with a 94% interest rate. High investments here. Just little pennies. Waiting on enough investors to where they can raise and actually be worth something. And that's where people like me and you and everyday people can get in on a grounds level of investing, buying, on the interest, and investing into the stock. Looking at the portfolio, my portfolio, actually, of what I have actually invested in. Looking at which ones have done what. Because my percentages are looking up in. These are more what I want to invest in more, a little bit more. Keep more focusing on because they're in the green. $2 interest, $5 interest. No value. Well, yet again, $20 value, $8 value, $4 value. These are what I have invested in, the outcomes of what I have got out of them. Still got a $20.86 or 86 cents value plus. That 24-hour charge, they down too. So this is still, even though it looks like this is still worth something out of everything. Notice how when you look at something that looks good, it doesn't look how it looks. Everything like why is the chart not going up like everybody else is? But you see everything's in the plus. Everything's in the green. It looks nice. Global One sources, what they're about. Where's their capital? The money, the highs, all-time highs at 4,000. What they did in the last 24 hours, the range. We can go over all of this. And I'm either going to fail, and you're going to watch me fail, or we're going to do good, and you're going to watch me do good. Okay? This is going to be a very interesting project for me. I'm very, very excited to do this with you guys. I'm sorry, sir. Hey. My bad. How are you doing? I know I'll be speaking about you too. I know you're doing good over there on Rumble. Appreciate you, Nay. But yes, everybody should invest in stocks. You should do very good. Nay, you should come on my show Friday. I don't know if you've seen the announcement that I have done and stuff like that. I put out an announcement and stuff like that. It's funny. But on Tuesdays I'll be going over AI and stocks. Monday, marijuana, stocks and news. Wednesday, gaming. Thursday is court cases and cop cams. Friday is my politics day. And then Saturday is me and my fiance. We have a couples thing. That is the new schedule. And I'm going to repost it and put it up there for everybody to see on all platforms for everybody to get familiar with the new show and what you're doing. Plus, don't forget the Good Night Capiche, ladies and gentlemen, which is almost every night except for, what is that? I think Saturday. Fridays and Saturdays are my 2 off days of Good Night Capiche. I appreciate it. Everybody stopping through, hanging out, chilling, y'all. This is going to be a very exciting moment. I definitely know to sit down with you. I know you probably got some good tips for me in the audience, so I definitely would like for you to come through anytime. Just let me know. And yeah, we're going to get this cracking, y'all. Let's get them investments. Understand AI, the good in AI and the bad in AI, y'all. It's a two-way street. It's not just all bad. It's just not all good. It just depends on how you want to use and invest in it. I think it can go both ways. I'm definitely going to be investing in it in the stock market way. I'm also going to be invested in it by making movies, cartoons, and etc. and things to myself. Burn Live has a lot to bring, a lot to come. I promise you guys. And with that, I would like to say good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Anytime that you watch my show, I highly appreciate it. Thank you for stopping by. And with that, I would like to say, have a good day.